Hello there and welcome to another episode of my Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 Rebranding WWE save. My name is Ben Chapman. If you do enjoy this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Every single like is greatly appreciated. And if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on any content. You can hit the bell notification. There's daily Total Extreme Wrestling content at 9 PM British Standard Time every single day. And we've got the Go Home show for bragging rights here, the show after Survivor Series, but also the Go Home show for bragging rights. Because there are two different pay-per-views in my universe. And it's the bragging rights storyline, which is the big deal here. And Mark Calloway is with the champions of SmackDown, except for The Fiend, because, for obvious reasons. And he's chatting to them. Robert Roode is going to have to face Andrade. Kalisto versus Baron Corbin. Styles and Balor facing Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and Bayley will be facing Shayna Baszler. It's good stuff. And Mark Calloway is admitting to them that, he's hyping them up, and he is admitting that he is nervous about The Fiend. Because The Fiend is the Universal Champion, and he is genuinely nervous that he's not going to be able to get The Fiend to fight for SmackDown. Which is the point. That's going to be a big plot point, is that The Fiend shouldn't be fighting in brand versus brand supremacy. He's fighting because he's The Fiend. That's who he is. Also, I will point out that I'm not going to be using The Fiend for much. I do enjoy The Fiend, but I don't think it's a long-running character. It's a 98 rating, though. Good stuff. All of these guys are good promos. Kalisto being in this segment will massively help him, because from next week on, SmackDown is going 3 hours, with 1 hour of that being cruiserweight action. 98 rating, though. Then get our first qualifying match as Kofi Kingston versus Sami Zayn. Kofi Kingston picks up the win when he defeats Sami Zayn in 7 minutes and 30 seconds with the Trouble in Paradise. It's good stuff. Kofi gets an 87, Sami gets a 79, gets an 81 overall, and it continues our, of course, our long bragging rights storyline. Second match sees a match I thought would have been a bit better than 83, but Big E versus Sheamus, the former Intercontinental Champion versus the former #1 contender for the Universal Champion. Of course, Sheamus lost to The Fiend last night. Big E lost to Robert Roode, but Big E picks up the win here when he beats Sheamus with a big ending in just under 10 minutes. Big E gets a 91, Sheamus an 88. These two are great performers, which is why they've both been in very prominent positions on the brand recently. It's an 83 rating, though. And Big E and Kofi Kingston celebrate together because they're both on Team SmackDown together. It'll be the first time they've teamed up in a bit, actually, because I think it would have been the New Day versus Robert Roode and Sami Zayn match would have been the last time they teamed up. So it gets a 100 rating here. Now on the women's side, Alexa Bliss, not in her normal mode, not in her demonic stage, but in her normal mode, defeats Dana Brooke in 6:22 with Twisted Bliss. Bliss gets a 92, Dana Brooke gets a 76, which is great news, seeing that Alexa Bliss is getting in the 90s. I do believe that I could quite easily, in Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, it was almost impossible to have the women main event, but in this game, with the new system, the women main eventing is not an issue. They haven't really had a storyline, which I thought could be a main event storyline yet, but I am trying to work on making sure they get the best storylines possible. It gets an 82 rated match here. Then Alexa Bliss goes to Team SmackDown. Naomi defeats Tenille Dashwood in 6:26 with a rear view. Quite simple. Gets an 82 rating. Naomi gets an 87. Tenille is 63. It advances bragging rights storyline, as of course every single segment on this show should do. I don't know if they will, but they should. An 82 overall rated segment. Third women's match sees Liv Morgan defeat Jordan Grace with the Flatliner. Liv gets an 82, Jordan a 70. It's nice seeing that Tenille and Jordan, who when they signed, were so much lower than all the other women on SmackDown. It's nice seeing them finally starting to get to the point where they're catching up. That is reassuring. But an 81 rating match here is good. And the fourth women's match sees Sonya Deville tap out Lacey Evans in less than a minute. Sonya gets a 91, Evans a 77, gets a 75 overall because it was such a short match. But Deville just dominates Evans. And Morgan and Naomi are standing at the top of the side, standing side by side. And Alexa Bliss and Sonya Deville just ignore them. Completely ignore them. Because Alexa Bliss is, psychotic now. And Sonya Deville has no interest working with anybody else. She's just interested. Her entire character is that she feels she's been wronged and that she wants a shot at the women's title. This is another pay-per-view, which she's not going to get it. She has been promised that match for Starrcade, but she's not happy that she's now got to work for Team SmackDown before she gets her women's title shot. In an 85 rated match, Shinsuke Nakamura makes Braun Strowman tap out to the cross arm lock. Great stuff here. Gets an 85 overall, 86 for Nakamura, 87 for Strowman. And the main event match gets a 79, which is a bit upsetting as Cesaro makes Jey Uso tap out with a sharpshooter. It's an 84 for Cesaro and 87 for Jey Uso. It's a 79 overall rating. And the main event segment, well, not the main event segment, but we finally get Cesaro and Nakamura look at each other, and they're still really tense after what happened last week, because they drew, which technically means they both are the currently number one contender for the Universal Championship. And the New Day are just in the background, just dancing with pancakes. And the main event segment sees Mark Calloway getting attacked by the Fiend Bray Wyatt. It's a simple segment. Mark Calloway's just walking backstage, the lights cut to red, and the Fiend just locks in the mandible claw on Calloway. Gets a 100 star. Overall, what did we get? It's an 86, not our best show, but it was very match heavy because of the build to bragging rights.